All right. Hi, everyone. I think we're live. There's Turtle here with me.
Hello.
I'm gonna ping Gogo, who's asked to be pinged personally.
Always
Um,
nice to get a personal ping from Fred. Hope everyone's doing good.
yeah. So this is a bit of an improvised streaming. So we're gonna just go over qualifiers real quick and then showcase the maps for the first week.
Yeah, well, I mean we can go
Yeah,
from the
I'm gonna
bottom and work our way up.
let me put that screen up. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Um, so from bottom up we had Romania, Israel, Croatia, Hungary, Slovenia, Greece, and Spain all just missing out, unfortunately.
I was a bit sad to see Greece out. I
Yes,
think Nameless put a lot of effort, but
yes, definitely. I think he got one of the best overall individual times. Individual sets of times. So going out is very unfortunate for Nameless, but he did a great job by himself anyway. Um, he was, I believe, seventh overall as an individual player. So shout out to Nameless for
wow, nice. I didn't know that.
that. Um, yeah. So that I mean that leads us on to the first team that does qualify though, which is Czechia. Very well done to them. Um, I believe they were fighting right up until the last minute with Switzerland as well, and Switzerland came 15th, so very
Yeah,
tight battle there.
yeah. I think Gogo mentioned that they took like several points in 15 minutes and overcame Czechia. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Norway as well actually. Only really got up to that 14th spot at the very last minute as well.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I
I
saw it
believe
behind.
earlier in the day, um, Spain was ahead of at the very least Czechia. Um, I think possibly Norway or Switzerland as well. Um, and so the last push sort of from Norway got them over the line, but it was much closer than I think they perhaps expected.
Yeah.
Also, should probably mention now, whilst we're talking about Norway, uh, Ari's performance was the third best overall performance, um, and we're not going to find out who it was that beat him for quite a while. So again, very well done to Ari, despite coming 14th. I think without his hard work and on those maps, Norway probably wouldn't have qualified. So very big shout out to him as well.
Nice.
So if you look on the leaderboard as well, there's points to show, sort of how close everything was. Um, and between 16th and 14th, there's really not that big of a difference. Like one more really good time on a map could have changed a lot. So it really was, you know, down to the last minute. If a player gets a really good time, everything can change. Um, so I hope that energy continues into the live rounds,
Yeah.
which we'll talk more about later, of course.
Yeah. I forgot to put some music, but I guess that will be for next time. So
Yeah,
sorry,
we
guys.
can work that out. We can work that out. Um, okay. I should also point out that if it feels like I'm not interacting very much with the Twitch chat, that's because I'm not because I can't see it. Um, so if any of you are trying to say hello or anything and I'm not saying hello back, I promise I'm not trying to be rude. I just cannot say anything. Um,
Yeah, maybe we can find out how to put the stream
that
chat as
that's
well.
that's something to think about for the future as well, I guess. But busy looking at stats to talk about this week instead. Um, right, so 13th, we've got Belgium.
Belgium. Kind of happy to see them in as well because it's actually my second nationality as well with Switzerland. So both my countries got in.
Yeah,
I have double the chances as well.
yeah, you've got all the more people to back. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
so Belgium did a great job. Um, I think they were one of the teams which had um, a, so far it's been a lot of one player carrying really hard. Um, but I think Belgium had a bit more of a spread across their players getting times. Um, so, and you'll find that as we go up more, I guess, that there might be players who are doing really well, but it's less of a carry when you also have, you know, two other players doing very well at the same time. Um, so, yes, uh, Belgium, I think, was probably one of the first teams to have that more sort of spread of good times throughout different players. Um,
I'm
yeah,
trying to put the editor music as the background that I'm sure I can use without.
yeah, um, yeah.
That's not.
Also, I think if I remember correctly, Belgium just missed out last when I ran the unofficial EWC um, quite a long time ago now. I think Belgium just missed out on the knockout stages. So well done to them for stepping it up this year. Um,
Nice.
I think that yeah, I think a lot of countries that did well last year um, have done less well this year, but there are definitely countries which perhaps didn't do well last year that have improved a lot. Um, there's definitely one of those that we'll be getting to soon. So, um, right. I mean,
Is
moving up
the?
now.
I guess the music is not too loud, guys. No, Turtle, you won't hear it, I think, but
No.
just put some editor music in the background.
Okay, nice. Um, right. Well, moving up, only 3 points. So really, not very much at all to 12th. We have Finland. Um, again, great job from them. I'll be honest, not one of the teams I expected to do well. So seeing them above teams like Switzerland and Norway and Belgium, I'm sure they'll be
Yeah,
very pleased with that position, and I'm sure they'll be hoping they can convert that into a run through the knockout stages.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, I should also add Finland was one of the, I believe they definitely came top 8 um, last year. When I ran this unofficially, so seem to always surprise me in how well they do. Um,
Nice.
yeah, great job from them.
How do you feel about United Kingdom? Are you satisfied with the position or?
I think to be honest, the UK team might be a bit disappointed with this position. However, with the bracket stages, it really is all still to play for. Some of these teams that have perhaps come in the bottom half of qualifying teams, they don't have to, sit there and worry that they've got no chance at all.
Right.
Live matches really are going to, put a lot of pressure on
Yeah, I guess
players.
it's a whole
So
different beast, yeah, than grinding for records for a week
yeah,
and a live match.
um,
Yeah.
it's a completely different kettle of fish because here you've got 3 minutes to set your best time that you can on a map. Of course, you've got time to practice it, but that will make a massive difference for teams perhaps that didn't have a lot of time to grind maps during the qualification. Those teams might have gotten their times really quickly, and for them, when it comes to live matches, that'll show. So yeah, I think there are definitely teams that will do better in live rounds.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, fingers crossed, no bias, of course. The UK is one of them.
Right.
It would be quite the fall from grace to win the unofficial EWC and, you know, get knocked out super early.
Yeah.
But yes, I've got my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So moving up again, top 10 now. So Italy, 529 points. So we're starting to get to, you know, positions now where 529 points is going to be very difficult to achieve with, you know, one good player. These teams are all going to start having to have lots of players contributing to get these low scores.
Yep.
So yeah, across the 5 maps, we're getting to a point where you're going to need to average a score of about 100 on each map, which means having 3 players that average a position of around 33rd, which is a lot, which is hard, you know, with all these other players also grinding the maps. That's not an easy thing to achieve. So yeah, all of these teams all of the teams are great anyway, but definitely from here on out, we're starting to see where, you know, some of these teams have got maybe a bit of depth, and that's another thing which I think will show in live rounds, the teams which have the depth in their squad.
Yeah.
So yeah, great job from Italy. I'm sure they'll be pleased with their performance. Yeah. We can moving on again.
Yep.
Up to Australia.
I heard
this is
Nawe was saying he was kind of doing a bit of a carry, but
yeah. Narwhal definitely did great here. I believe Narwhal was. I'm just gonna have to do some counting again. I think top 10 overall. Narwhal was
hard Narwhal carry, says Narwhal
so, yeah.
in the chat.
Yeah. But I feel like with Australia, they've got depth in the roster that perhaps, you know, they didn't show off as much here. But I think when it comes to the live matches, if they put their, put their foot down, properly grind the maps in practice, I think Australia could be an underdog here. I've
Nice.
definitely got, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Australia, you know, winning a few games in getting to, you know, 3rd, 4th rounds, you know.
Yeah.
I think bottom half of the qualifiers shouldn't be what their end goal should be. I think they should be aiming for, you know, top 8 at the very least.
Cool.
Which, saying that, is unbelievable given how many insane teams there are still to go. But we now break into the top half of teams if we go up again to Canada.
Canada. Glad to see the OG goat Theon still in the competition.
Yeah, definitely. It's also great to see, you know, a full roster of 6 definitely legitimate players. I think Canada is still a force to be reckoned with, despite their unfortunate scenario earlier in the week, and I think that this result is something which clearly shows that. They've got a roster with a lot of depth, again, similar to Australia, so realistically, the bottom 3 players on the Canada team would probably still be good enough to win matches. So when you add the 2 extra players on top of that, they're going to be able to split maps more efficiently, and will probably end up doing pretty well as well, which is I think it's insane how Canada and Australia are going to be playing against each other in the first round. Two insane teams, and unfortunately, one of them is going to be going to the losers bracket after the first round, which again, I cannot believe it. I think, as much as you probably would expect this to be the case, Canada Australia is probably going to be, in my opinion, the tightest round one game. Of course, that's because it's 8th versus 9th, but at the same time, I do truly think that they might have one of the most intense first round matches. So when we post the schedule for the matches, if you guys, I believe we're going to be streaming them here as well. And when we do that, definitely you guys should check into that game. If you're a neutral without a team to watch and you just want to watch some high octane exo racer, that's going to be an intense match with some incredible times, I'm sure of it. But yeah,
someone was
looking
asking
forward to
who is talking. So I'm Fred, and I'm joined with Total for the
hello.
this stream.
Yeah, Magic Turtle. If you haven't heard of me, nice to meet you. But me, Fred, and L3, who you've probably heard of, he made a small website called Exostats. Quite niche, but he's helping out as well. Which is, as you can expect, as you probably expect, why the information for EWC is a lot of that's hosted over on Exostats. But yeah, just because he's not here to shout himself out. Big shout out to L3 for massively helping us throughout the process of getting this competition together. In fact, yes, this page that we've been showing you this entire time is credit to L3. So,
yep.
Yeah.
So let's keep going up.
So yeah, 7th Germany. Another. I mean, great performance from them. They've got a few very good players on that team, so it's. I mean, you can hardly ever say expected with these kind of things, but I think they'll be pretty pleased with that. Guest 5260, I believe, ended up coming 5th overall in individual player positions. So
wow, nice.
Definitely great job from him. Definitely helping out the team a lot there. So yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah.
I'm shouting out a lot of people today. It's not even really shouting out. I'm just mentioning that they're really good at Exo Racer.
He says he's not pleased at all. Wanted to be first. Damn.
Well, you've still got a chance. You just got to beat everyone else in the knockouts. Right. So moving up again into 6th, we have Russia. Great job from them. Broname, of course, a great player, but I was slightly surprised by their performance, and I think they've done a brilliant job.
Yeah, I wasn't expected to see Russia at that position.
Yeah, hopefully it'll continue over to the live rounds, but even if it doesn't, I think for a lot of people probably weren't expecting a lot from them, and to have come this top 6 in qualifiers is really still a massive achievement. Well done to them.
Gogo saying Switzerland underdog. Yeah, I'd definitely be thrilled to see Switzerland go far in the knockouts. So I'll be following closely. But we'll see.
Yes, definitely. It would be great to see, as I said earlier, some of the teams which perhaps were on the lower side of the qualification leaderboard that still qualified. It'd be great to see some of those teams making underdog runs in either upper or lower bracket, which I will explain later. But yeah, I want to see some underdogs at some point. That's what I'll be rooting for. Second only to the UK. Yeah, so up to fifth now, top five. It's getting the top five teams are all, you know, pretty. The scores they're getting here are kind of insane, and
Yeah.
I think that has to be, you know, pointed out how getting 384 is such an unbelievably low average. You've got to have consistency across all of the maps, and massive well done to the teams that have come this high up in the qualification leaderboards.
Yeah. I would say I was a bit surprised as well to see Poland so high. Like, good
I
surprise.
think Poland's a team that people sleep on a bit. You know, when I've talked to people about EWC in the past, and I've asked them which teams they think they're going to do well. They list, you know, Sweden, United States, Netherlands, but well, we'll get to France later as well. But people seem to forget about Poland a lot. When in reality, looking at their roster, it's not really that surprising that they're doing so well with their, you know, they've got Luki, Victor, Kopelat, Thunder,
do you have
XYYQ.
Do you know who was the biggest carry in Poland team?
The biggest character for Poland, definitely Victor.
Okay.
Victor came, I believe, fourth overall in
Nice.
individual rankings. I can't immediately see who was second for Poland, but I believe it was Luki. A bit further down in the list. But I believe Luki was then second best player on the team.
Nice.
So, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's hard to say carry when you're this high up, because in reality you need a lot of good players to be getting into the top five. But Victor was definitely the leading cause for that position.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Right, so top four. These are the, you know, in terms of how you expect this competition to go. If the best teams if the teams with the higher qualification rank beat the teams with lower qualification rank, these are the four teams we'd expect to see in the semi-finals. So these are the teams which really are the best of the bunch, you know. And it is a pretty big drop as well, from 384 all the way down to 314 for the Netherlands.
Yeah. Juan is saying in the chat that Netherlands is so overrated. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Well, I think one thing to point out as well is that the Netherlands have a pretty like, all of the players on the Netherlands team would not surprise me if they did well. And to add to that, Thais didn't actually play in the qualifiers. Thais was able to get a time on the first map, which wasn't bad, but just didn't have time to play the other maps.
I see.
And I think it's definitely worth, you know, pointing out that despite coming fourth, they have even more depth than they're already showing off. So I think that when it comes to, again, as I said before, with the fact that you can split maps across different players when you're doing live rounds, you know, have certain players practicing certain maps, and certain players practicing the other ones. I think that the depth on the Netherlands roster of, you know, John, Sepiono, Luca, Dutch on top, Sweat, and Thais, like, all of those players, they probably make it into the majority of other countries if they were from other countries. Like, I think Netherlands certainly has potentially one of the best depths of squad, which is something which will, I think, be important. And so I definitely think they should be we need to watch out for Netherlands.
Yep.
But yeah, um, heading up one more spot again, and massive,
Score
decrease
improvement.
again down to
Yeah.
244 points. These are insane scores. I should just point out, like, to get this kind of score, you've got to average around 16th. Your top 3 players on each map have to average around 16th. Which just seeing how many countries there are that are playing this, and all of these players, like, to average 16th is kind of insane. I mean, of course, we're going to see an even more insane number very shortly, but
Yeah.
I think it has to be said that to average 16th is unbelievable. And yeah, the United States, I mean, I'd say a lot of people probably still would have them as favourites to win the competition, but I wouldn't be surprised if they, could have
Something
done better.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, they've come third in qualifiers, and I think the majority of people I spoke to before this competition started would definitely have put them as favourites.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was
Perhaps
kind
a
of
few
surprised
people,
to see them third. A
yeah,
little bit.
I'd say perhaps a few people were predicting Sweden to do better, but if we go up one more place to France,
Yep.
I think that has to be the biggest surprise for me of the qualifications.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I really didn't expect to see them here.
Again, from last year, when I don't believe France even made made knockouts in the unofficial tournament. Their roster is really pretty impressive, and I'm very much looking forward to see if they can do how far they can go in the tournament. I think that coming second in qualifiers is a really good sign.
Yep.
That perhaps I had just massively underrated them. Don't get me wrong, I was aware that the French team had a lot of good players on it, but even with another thing to add, that this is the France roster without TG.
Yeah.
It's incredible that they've done this well, and I think that they, but they've
Yeah.
surprised me here. I'm looking forward to see if they'll continue to surprise me throughout the brackets.
Yeah, for sure.
Which leads us
Cheesegg, a
on
bit
to
of teasing in chat, saying that USA didn't even try. We boosted France, he says.
I see.
Well, fair enough.
Well, Sweden did manage to win, which
Right.
I think perhaps not massively unexpected, but you can't say that it was unexpected for them to win by such a huge margin.
Yeah. Indeed.
More than 100 points between first and second is incredible, and again, if we work out roughly how much they have to be, scoring on each map, Sweden have to get like an average of like 24 points ish on each map, which is an average position of 8th for their top 3 players. Which is just insane. And some of these maps like Shaded and Geometry.
Oh, France actually managed to take first on Blizzard. That's cool.
Yeah. So Encryption as well. Sweden are getting. Did they get 16 or I can't? I'm not sure. I didn't read that exactly, but they're getting below 20 on all of those maps, which is insane. I think the commitment that they had to do well on these qualifiers was incredible, and if they keep up that level of commitment to practicing for the knockout rounds, I mean, they're definitely going to be the team to watch out for. Like, as much as I would have said that was going to be United States before this round, they're going to have to perhaps against what Chise said they did in the qualifiers, they're gonna have to put in the effort to be able to beat Sweden.
Right.
Because
Yep.
again, a score of 127 is really quite incredible.
Yep. Maybe I can show the world records real quick.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea. We're going to see a lot of a certain player here. I should just point out. I did stop talking about the best individual players, but I can, before we go on to this, I'll quickly see if I can find them to mention. Cly was the highest scoring individual, followed by Owen. Ari was third, Victor was fourth, Guest was fifth. Guest 5260, sorry, was fifth. Then I believe Legend was sixth, Nameless was seventh, Itzak was eighth, Narwhal was ninth, and FLX was 10th. Who I believe we're now going to be able to see a run of.
Wait, they're saying that FLX is actually Felix, short for Felix.
Okay, right.
Should I say?
Thank you for letting us know. I will keep that
Felix.
in mind. Felix
77.
Well,
all right. I'm gonna put the run now.
Yeah.
It's actually quite.
It's so hard to see
milliseconds ahead of
yeah,
the
it's so hard to see any optimizations as well. The run looks so close to perfect, and I think that's what you see in a lot of these runs on qualifiers, is that genuinely, I mean, I think I'd struggle if I was, you know, playing the game in slow motion to get that precise. Of course, you get that from playing the maps for a long period of time, but also just you have to say massive, like, big props to anyone who's managed to get world records on these maps. Partly because that means you have to beat Cly. So well done to Felix for taking world record on the first map.
They're asking compared to top 5. The comparing feature is broken in my PC build somehow, so I can't do that, but I will fix it, and maybe in other streams we can do that. Sorry guys, so just gonna show the one of Blizzard now. You're seeing my screen, right, Turtle?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay.
It's looking good. So yes, as I said before,
Cly
did pretty well in qualifiers. I mean, he got second on that first map. This map, he's come first. So
take a look.
That's a really interesting strategy on the first float zone there, I should also say. And really clean reattach over the spike wall.
Yeah.
Definitely knew that was possible, but
yeah,
it's still impressive to see. It's very clean and fast.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a very nice run from Clyde there.
Yep.
Again,
Spiky saying he's 60 on this map. Oh. Well. Oh, maybe it might have changed meanwhile. Because the leaderboards are not frozen to what they were at the end of the qualifications.
And you might have got a higher position on that map because there might be people above you who are not competing, and that was taken into account.
Yeah.
Okay.
So moving on to
next map.
Cosmic. Cosmic, actually, Canada came third on this map.
Oh, nice. Showing that they do have the power there to do well when they when they really put their mind to it.
So
I didn't get world record on this one. He was second.
Yeah.
So honestly, he'll be disappointed with that one. So this is Zosia Jenks, who perhaps more commonly known as Legend. I hope I've got that right.
Let's take
got world record on this one. This is a very impressive run. You know, a lot of these inputs don't look that hard, but they are so precise, especially that reattach earlier in the map.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It always looks so easy. You're like, yeah, that looks easy. Some of the maps, at least, not all of them, but some runs you're like, yeah, Of course,
Yeah.
that's how I would play it, but I can do
Um,
that.
yeah, I think the rear touch here is possibly the most impressive part as well, because this actually wasn't the route used by Zypor when setting the ATs. So not this rear touch.
Oh,
There's a rear touch that it's difficult to see on the
here.
second swing.
Oh,
Uh, that rear touch there is you're going so fast on that swing, and essentially the route is faster with that. Well, at least I believe the route is faster without the rear touch. If you're not going to rear touch, it's faster to go short, which is what the author time does on this map.
oh.
So that's a different
Yeah, I wish I could
pathing from
compare.
the author.
I wish I could compare,
Yeah.
but yeah, too
Um,
bad.
if you want to have a look at it, I'd definitely suggest you have a look at that yourselves. You can just check it on the map. And of course, if you guys don't know where the map is, it should be on. It will be on my account. Oh, it looks like they. Wow. Okay. Maybe lots of people went for the reattach strategy.
Yeah, someone
if you
said
want
that Drippy could have had world record, just messed up the last.
It looks
the
like he
last
goes
bit.
a little bit high on the second to last swing,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But yeah.
Should we check shaded?
Yeah. Also, again, thank you so much to the mappers who've made these maps.
Yeah.
They're all great,
Yeah.
and there are more great maps to come as well.
Yep.
Of that maybe seen later.
Yep.
So, right. Surprise, surprise. We find Cly at the top of the leaderboards again. I should also say though, Wojtak's coming in second here is unbelievably clutch for Czech Republic, who, if you remember from earlier, came 16th in qualifiers.
Right.
So for Wojtak to get second on this map, that's almost certainly, without that time, Spain would have beaten Czech Republic, who also, with MXR fan in fourth, did very well on this map. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to see, I think, for the
Yeah. Getting
Um,
some nice points to Italy. Yeah.
I think Spain. MXR fan, I think.
Oh yeah. Sorry. You're right.
Well, as I was saying, they came 17th and Czech Republic came 16th. So those two times definitely made it very competitive. But
Yeah.
without either of those, it would have looked very different. Right, time to watch Cly world record again. That's such a clean reattach for the first one and the second one. This map is one of those maps which looks so much easier than it is. That reattach requires so much precision because, despite what it looks like, it's not just a quick tap. You've got to make sure you hold again for the right amount of time.
Yeah.
Also, some of the clicks on, perhaps on the first glider down. I'm pretty sure that looks really easy. However, if you tap for too long, you don't land in the far enough to the right of the loop back of the curve back down, and that would ruin your speed entirely.
Yeah.
So
Gogo made it to 10th position here on this map. Oh, that's a nice trail combo.
yeah, nice Switzerland combo as well with the candy cane. Oops, sorry.
Yep.
I might have just frightened everyone. I accidentally hit my mic. Yeah, very nice time, Gogo. Well done. Guys, do you want to have a guess who got world record on this map?
Encryption.
Encryption. Next map. guess in the chat. I can't see if you're getting it right or not.
I'm
But
gonna check. Guess who got a world record? Not
I
Cly.
don't. Not Cly. Well, maybe we should take a look. Um,
Cly again.
oh, it was Cly again.
Oh my god.
So
Nice
Cly
work.
got an overall score. Now we've seen it. Cly got an overall score of 7
Wow.
throughout the qualifiers. Like in comparison to, we were talking earlier about Sweden having an unbelievable average of like 127. So, have a total score of 127. Cly's score of 7 means he averaged closer to first than second. Like which is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Really does show a level of dominance, which is going to be pretty hard to beat. For those of you potentially watching this who are unaware about this map, that little trick at the start was a cut. However, so he does this reattach here to hit a hitbox that was supposed to be for the reverse gravity route on this map, which
Oh.
perhaps Fred can. No one went for it because it's slower, but perhaps Fred can. I don't know whether Fred can show it or not. Playing the map himself, but you can see why there was a cut there. And on a vote, it was decided that the cut actually made the map somehow slightly more consistent. So the cut was left in.
Yeah.
But yeah, this I think this would have made a much bigger difference to live rounds.
Yep.
When you have a week to practice the map, it doesn't really matter if there's a cut in it because you can always just practice it until you get the cut right. But I think this certainly would have been a lot more problematic for live rounds. But don't worry, if there are problematic cuts, we will fix them.
Yep.
Hopefully we spot them before they get to that point, but we decided to leave this one in.
So should I show the round of 16 map pool, level pool?
Should I explain the double elimination bracket first?
Sure.
Okay. So as you guys might have already seen, here is the bracket for the knockout stages of the Exo Racer World Cup. Right. Yeah, here it is. Now, as you might also have noticed, this isn't a simple single elimination bracket. There's this whole extra little section down at the bottom, which is called the lower or losers bracket, sometimes called the second chance bracket as well. And the way that this tournament will be running is this double elimination style. In essence, what this means is that you will all have all of the competing teams will have a second chance. If you lose a game in the upper bracket, instead of being eliminated completely, you're removed to the secondary bracket, the losers bracket, etc. So this means that even if you've got a really tough game in your first round, it's not all is lost. You'll then go into the losers bracket, where if you lose a game there, you then are completely eliminated.
Yep.
The upper and lower brackets will continue until there is a single team remaining in both the lower bracket and the upper bracket. And at which point the winner of those two teams will play against each other in the grand finals. To make it fair, of course, the team that won the winners bracket will essentially have an extra life, meaning the team from lower bracket will have to win twice in 2 separate games in order to beat the team that won winners bracket, whereas the team who won winners bracket can win the whole tournament by simply winning one game at the start. Um,
Yeah, so that's
uh,
why there are two matches here at the end. Yeah.
yes. Um, this system also allows for essentially a first, second, and third place. So, unlike a simple knockout tournament where third and fourth are typically considered equal, this tournament will allow for first, second, and third. As first will be the winner of grand finals, second is the loser of grand finals, and third is the loser of the lower bracket finals. Which I believe will be important in some way to the prizes that are still to be decided. However, they will be given partly to the teams that come first, second, and third. Don't know if I was meant to say that or not, but I did. So
That's fine.
um,
What time on Saturday are matches? Someone is asking.
Okay, so this is currently. I'm currently in charge of getting times ready for matches. If you're a captain, please, and we haven't agreed a time yet, and you're watching this, please do just DM me so we can organise the times. But they are generally going to be, I believe, winners brackets games on Saturday, if possible, and having losers bracket games on Saturday and Sunday. This is partly because in losers bracket we will occasionally have to run essentially 2 rounds of knockout in one weekend, so we have to be able to a team's going to have to be able to play sometimes twice in one weekend, so that's why they might get spread more across 2 days. But yeah, in general they're going to be on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, between the hours of midday and midnight UTC. The first round specifically, I think a lot of the games are going to be sort of more in the range of 2 till 8, but there are exceptions where teams, perhaps Canada and Australia, can't make those boundaries as easily, and we will be flexible on that. But as long as captains are communicating well with us, we can make sure that the matches can be flexible time-wise.
Yeah, so I'll be creating private chat channels for each matchups, and we will communicate there what the schedule is. We will ask for bans as well for maps. Yeah, so we will create the channels this week or this weekend.
Yeah. So again, with the bans as well, the way we're going to do this is by, of course, to give you this list, which I'm sure Fred will show you soon, of maps. I don't know whether can people see this now?
Oh, the list of maps. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this list of maps. Great job, by the way, for all of the people who have made maps for this round. They're great. There are 9 maps, of which both teams will be banning 1 map. In doing this, we're going to need you to send us these bans in advance of the game, just to make the streaming process a little bit easier for us. And the team that gets the first ban will also be the team that gets the second pick in the game. So one country will get to ban first, and one country will get to pick first.
Yeah, so this will be the first match for a round of 16 will be best of 7. So we'll play several games of 3-minute team race game mode in lobbies. And yeah, before each game, the captain needs to communicate the chosen map
Yeah. Um, yeah. So I think that's the majority of information about how the event's going to be
Can we just play
running.
H3? No.
No, unfortunately not. So I think what we're going to do now is, and I should also say these author times are not the finalized author times. They're currently being worked on right now. Um, I haven't seen it, but I know that they're definitely currently discussing them. The map testers who are EG and Zypor are currently discussing the maps. Um, so they are still being worked on.
Yep.
But we will show you a AT of each map so you can see what you've got coming.
Yep.
Also, bear in mind, some of these maps may look funny, but that's just because we're on the...
Shouldn't be here.
some of these maps may look funny, but that's just because they're on landscape mode, which you will not be playing on. So
Yeah.
don't worry about that.
True. So this other time I actually had to do it myself last minute because the original AT was not working. But yeah, we will have better ATs.
Yeah. This map has this identity at the end, which
I played terribly. You can
is
actually...
not typically jumped in.
Yeah.
It's very possible to get consistent at it, and it's an interesting identity, which hopefully will provide some interesting, differences between top runs and okay runs during live matches. So yeah, great map from Ties. Thank you for that.
He said before he wanted us to use the correct pronunciation of T's.
T's? Okay. Yeah. Sorry. May have mispronounced that name for about
Forever.
9 months. This one's the Parksy level. Yeah, really like this one. So, very interesting identity, being this glider into swing, and yeah, very nice fast-paced level. This is, I believe, the author time directly from Parksy currently. Yeah, interesting map. I'm looking forward to seeing this one live.
Yeah. Let's go to Asteroids from Gruja.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna play that.
This is a very fast-paced map. These swings are surprisingly difficult to hit. They are most certainly not as easy as this author time makes it out to be.
Felix saying that he already spotted 2 cuts. All right, we'll fix those.
Yeah.
They'll be fixed before Saturday.
Zypor and TG are on it currently. But yes, if you would like to DM us with the ideas of the cuts, please do. Yeah. Also, Gruja is the only mapper in this round with 2 maps, so thank you for providing us with lots of maps, Gruja.
Yeah.
Okay. Another Narwhal map. It's got a very interesting route this level. Perhaps, one of the more simple in terms of, there's not a lot of complex mechanics and things. So was Gruja's actually. But it gives a bit of variety. You can decide which maps you prefer as a team and focus on them, perhaps more. That's another thing to mention. Of course, you get to ban a map, and you will only need to win on 4 maps to win a game. It's going to be a good idea for teams to strategize and come up with different methods, perhaps, of how to best go about winning on these in your matches. You might decide that actually you want to invest more of your time on certain maps, spread the maps between people, various things like that. Which
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing how different, captains go about organizing the strategy for this.
Yep.
All right, next map. Again, another map from John. So I like the mechanic here, as it is purposeful in this scenario. With the reattaches where you want to actually keep the reattach low.
Yeah.
The less height you get on the reattach, the faster you swing back, and the better your time will be. Yeah, this map looks like it's going to be good fun. I'm looking forward to seeing it in live rounds again.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to say about the maps until they've been released and people start getting runs on them, but
Yep.
yeah, and thank you John for that one.
Grid by Coppola. Yeah, this one
this-
was not made for landscape, but it's okay.
This makes use of a mechanic which hasn't been used a lot really, but it's definitely been around for a while. It's this wall jump, but going into it from the other side, so you kind of keep the same direction you're going into the wall jump, and those arrows that change the direction.
Yep.
Again, very fast-paced map here. Nothing too massive to change times drastically, but it should mean for some tight rounds.
Yep.
Okay. Next one's by Valued.
Yep.
This map might look weird on landscape mode because I know there are triggers doing stuff.
All right. Yeah.
Very, very short and snappy map from Valued there, but the
Yeah.
interesting changing of the entire blocks of cells, as you can see there. Yeah, should be interesting to see maps on this one, and of course as well, because the time is so short on this map.
Yep.
It will lead to some pretty tight races.
Yep.
Great. I think we can move on to the next one. Another Gruja map. I love the effect on this one. The slime looks so realistic. This map's giving me similar vibes to...
Oh, that's my AT. That's
Oh.
so slow. But please ignore
I
it.
was one.
Yeah. that's
This
so
map
slow.
has a similar energy to Bricked from Qualifiers. The identity is kind of similar to that one, and yeah, I think it's a very interesting map. I'm looking forward to seeing lots of players competing on it.
Yep.
Looks like Fred's looking forward to playing it as well. So
Yeah. Oh, it's quite fun.
now this map is, I mean, all of these maps have been great, but this map is probably my favourite of the
Yeah.
maps for this round.
Ignoring
It's by Banana Guy.
the missing trees on the left because it's not made for landscape, but other than that, I think it looks amazing.
This identity as well is really cool, especially with the birds as the the essentially spikes blocking you from
Yeah.
going up. Yeah, I love this level. I'm really hoping it gets picked a lot and I get to commentate on this one because it's
Yeah.
just beautiful to watch and very satisfying to get right.
Yeah, I had fun playing that one. I tried to beat Banana Guy, but couldn't, surprisingly. But it was fun anyway.
Yeah, but for the commentary of the maps, we'll have certainly seen the maps a lot before, but I think it's safe to say we're not going to have the same level of insight as some of these top players, because the times that I'm sure you guys will end up achieving on these maps are going to be crazy. So, um,
True, true.
I mean, I think that we covered most stuff now.
Yep.
Um, in which case, I want to say I'm massively looking forward to hosting the live events for you guys. Um, Again, I can't read your replies to it, but I hope you're all also excited for it. Um, I should say as well, this has required a lot of work for Fred. He has had to make this entire broadcaster build just to be able to stream this event, and yeah, it's taken a lot of time. So
Yeah, true.
let's have a round of applause for Fred in the chat. I can't see it, and I don't really know how you do a round of applause, but
Yeah.
uh,
Hopefully it's gonna be usable. So what we ended up doing is I showed a screenshot in chat on the Discord. Is you see all 6 players in small squares. So of course you cannot focus on all 6 at once, but yeah, hopefully it's gonna be enjoyable to watch. There was no real good alternative. Like we could focus on one player, but then we just miss other other people playing and taking the first place or something. So yeah.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping you guys are excited to see the live rounds next weekend, and these maps will be released at maps going to be released at the same time each week, which will be midnight UTC tonight.
Yeah.
Um,
Valued said that Banana Guy's map makes him want to go drink running water. I found it pretty funny. Yeah, it looks really peaceful and uh, beautiful nature. Really nice decoration.
yeah. Um, Good luck to everyone.
Yep.
Who's competing, and yeah, hopefully you enjoy these maps. But yeah, we've put a lot of effort into getting this together, and I'm so excited to see it's finally coming together.
Yep.
I hope you guys enjoy it too.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in. Um, yeah, we'll see you in the Discord server.
All right, bye.
Bye, guys.